Arne Slot's first title defence at Liverpool has already been shaped by fine margins, tight schedules, and growing physical demands on his squad, and the latest injury setback has only added to that pressure. With the campaign reaching a decisive stage, every absence now carries extra weight, both in terms of results and long-term planning. The newest blow has prompted a visible reaction from the manager, reflecting wider concerns inside the club about workload, recovery, and squad depth. As Liverpool continue to balance domestic and European ambitions, Slot's response highlights just how disruptive this latest development could prove in the weeks ahead. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Arne Slot says a serious shoulder injury to summer signing Jeremy Jacquet sums up Liverpool's luck this term, with the defender facing season-ending surgery. Jacquet may undergo surgery to correct a shoulder injury sustained in Rennes's 3-1 loss to RC Lens on Saturday, with claims it could end his season. It capped a rollercoaster week for the 20-year-old, who finalised a £60 million move to Liverpool, was knocked out of the Coupe de France, suffered his injury, and saw head coach Habib Beye sacked in the space of 8 days. And asked about Liverpool's miserable luck this season, in his pre-Sunderland press conference, Slot alluded to Jacquet's situation. "It feels like bad luck has come our way, that is for sure," he told reporters. "Even if we sign a player, and he's not even playing for us, he gets injured. So yeah, sometimes it feels like that. But the moment you start to feel it's all bad luck, probably it comes to you as well. So we should keep it away as much as possible and just focus on the performance, focus on what we can do to improve it. But the amount of times that we've conceded late goals in extra time is far more than usual. The question is it bad luck? Or are we to blame? I think I've tried many different things. I've made defensive substitutions and the ball went in. I kept playing the same players and the ball went in. We've tried a lot and I can fairly say that we haven't been lucky. That would be true. Is it then unlucky, or is this part of who we are? That is something we can only find out in the upcoming 3 to 4 months. The specifics of Jacquet's injury are as yet unknown, but the young Frenchman suffered what is described as serious damage to his shoulder after an awkward fall in Rennes's 3-1 loss to Lens. French newspaper L'Equipe later reported that he may require surgery, with doubts over whether he will feature again this season if that is the case. Whether that will impact on his transition to Liverpool remains to be seen, but there are currently no concerns he could miss pre-season, only that his fitness would be managed. Liverpool are expected to begin preparations for next season at the AXA training centre in early July, with reports suggesting they then plan to tour the United States, including a possible friendly against Wrexham in New York City. In other news, Arne Slot has admitted that Liverpool must be close to perfection in the closing months of the season if they are to secure qualification for next year's Champions League, with the Dutchman acknowledging that European football remains central to both the club's ambitions and its ability to compete in the transfer market. Speaking in his pre-Sunderland press conference, Slot reflected on the importance of finishing in the top tier of European football and the impact that qualification has on Liverpool's long-term planning. He suggested that the club's relatively quiet first summer under his leadership, which saw Federico Chiesa arrive as the only major signing, was heavily influenced by the Reds' participation in the Europa League the previous season. "If we don't have Champions League football, it's definitely not been an acceptable season," Slot told reporters. "When I arrived here, we could only sign Federico Chiesa, and that was after a Europa League season. So that does have an enormous impact in the way this club is run. That is clear, I'm completely aware of that. Slot's comments underline a widely accepted reality in modern football. The financial and sporting rewards of the Champions League far outweigh those of Europe's secondary competition. Regular participation at the highest level brings increased revenue, greater commercial appeal, and a stronger pull when recruiting elite players. For a club with Liverpool's ambitions, missing out on that stage can have significant consequences. However, sporting director Richard Hughes has offered a slightly different perspective on last summer's transfer activity. We knew that the first summer together as soon as we came in wasn't going to be a particularly active one, Hughes explained. Alongside the ownership with their long-term vision, they like to do things with all the metrics and the data in their favour. And the best way to do that is to prepare 1 year ahead, so one summer window to the next. So we deliberately did not a lot in the first season when we came in, but knew that we could identify throughout the course of last year players that would come in and help the squad. Hughes' comments suggest that restraint was part of a calculated plan rather than a forced compromise. Nevertheless, both he and Slot appear aligned on one central point. Champions League qualification remains essential to Liverpool's future progress. As the season enters its decisive phase, securing a place in Europe's elite competition has become the club's overriding objective. The most realistic route remains through the Premier League, where current projections indicate that a fifth-place finish is likely to be sufficient for qualification. However, Liverpool's position means that there is little room for error. Slot has openly acknowledged the scale of the challenge facing his side, particularly given the quality and consistency of the teams around them. We have to be close to perfection because of the points we are behind, he said. We also know that it's different when you are 4 points behind a team that's 18th or 19th in the league, because they usually don't pick up as many points as the 3rd, 4th or 5th pickup. To close the gap of 4-5 points towards 3rd, 4th or 5th, that means you have to win a lot. That's not what we've done this season a lot. That's why that has to be better, and we have to come close to perfection. Slot also highlighted how quickly fortunes can change at the top end of the table, pointing to recent examples where fine margins have had major consequences. Margins are indeed very small because on Sunday, 7 minutes before the end, we were 5 points behind City, and 5 minutes later we were 11 points behind, he added. Those comments reflect both the competitiveness of the Premier League and the pressure Liverpool are under to deliver consistently in the run-in. Dropped points, late goals, or narrow defeats can all have a decisive impact on final standings. For Slot, the message is clear. Champions League football is not only a benchmark of sporting success, but also a foundation for Liverpool's wider ambitions. Without it, recruitment becomes more difficult, long-term planning is disrupted, and expectations are inevitably recalibrated. With the stakes so high, Liverpool now face a defining period in their season. To meet their objectives, they must string together victories, show resilience in key moments, and operate at the highest possible level. As Slot has made clear, anything less than near perfection may not be enough. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. We post all the latest Liverpool news every day, so join our fast-growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.